Okay, so ladies, I want to introduce you to Carlos Phillips. She is the Girls in Technology Chair for this year. You want to see her so everybody can see your face? Okay.
Thank you. It's been a long journey in terms of just the preparation to get us here, and I am so excited to see so many mentors in the room. And we're really excited about this school year. So thanks again, and look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, Carlos. And Carlos actually ran SOS for the past couple of years, and now she's chair. So for all of you who might want to be on a committee, it is a slippery slope. I'm telling you that right now. Okay, Ashonda. Yeah. Okay. And Monica Dillingham is our vice chair this year, and she's wearing her colors.
Hello, everyone. Actually, I started as a Virginia mentor for 2 years. Then Carlos begged me to be her vice chair.
You said yes.
Yes, I said yes. And I continue to say yes. So I am very excited that you all showed up. It's an awesome turnout, and we're going to have a fantastic year.
Yes, fantastic. All right, thank you, ladies, both very much for your leadership. Okay, so let's move on to the slide. So we're just gonna, you all can read, welcome and introductions, get an overview, and usually we go around the room and we introduce ourselves, but I'm sure we all have other things to do tonight, like go to bed. All right, so everybody, hopefully you networked and you got to meet each other, and that's what this evening is all about. So we'll breeze through the GIT overview because you already seen that. The mentor protege will breeze through. And then we're going to spend some time on how to be a great GIT mentor and what it's like mentoring these young Generation Z women. Okay, I'm sure that's what a lot of you are looking forward to you. Okay, so we've introduced ourselves and we've given some background. Yes, established in 2001, so we've been around for 15 years. Something that maybe we didn't emphasize from the video is that we are not fully funded anymore because we are fundraising outside of our main funding source, which is a 501c3 called STEM for Her. And we'll tell you a little bit more about STEM for Her, but that is actually our main funding organization. STEM for Her works with girls in grades 6 through 12. And we are focused on STEM. I know a lot of you probably heard of the acronym STEAM, but with STEM for Her and that funding source, we work with STEM. So we're branded as a STEM organization. And our programs are around the 7 core beliefs that we'll go through. These are kind of the soft skills that we feel that girls sometimes don't get a lot of instruction on. And so a lot of our evenings are not just around how do you be successful in the STEM disciplines themselves, but then how do you tap into these soft skills in order to get past failure or to express some leadership skills that you need, and that it's okay to follow your passions. And how do you marry your passions with the STEM discipline? So that's what, there they are. Okay. So the core beliefs are, and I'm going to read them because I think this white on green is a little hard to see. So critical reflection, it's a routine of fine-tuning self-perceptions of values, passions, and goals. Empowerment is the capacity to invest in one's own talents and abilities, which will authorize a personal call to action. Self-efficacy is an inner belief that you are capable of persisting in the face of obstacles and master a challenge in order to make something positive happen. Passion is nurture and develop an intense interest in STEM through authentic immersion experiences. Innovation is an opportunity to act as a change agent while generating creative, unique, and inventive methods or solutions to routine situations. Collaboration is working in tandem with team members on an intellectual endeavor that can transform a single good idea into an exceptional concept. And leadership, through a reflective vision, creativity, and responsibly driven courage, design an action-oriented path leading communities to their highest level of achievement. So in the in the last session at graduation, when the girls come up and we give them their graduation certificate, we ask them, you know, what really resonated with them most. And more often than not, these girls say, I really learned that it was okay to fail and that it's really an opportunity. Because these girls that we work with are like off the chart, AAA+ personalities. And they're very, very driven, and they also have parents that drive them as well. And so the fact that we, and our success, and you know, we're okay, we're living proof that your path zigs and zags and it's okay to fail, and they can see us and we're happy and we're smiling and we're successful, is really very inspirational to them. So that's just a really good example of a soft skill that these girls walk away with. It's really important. And mentor protege is so important because we can reinforce this month after month with them. And so keep that in mind. Keep these in mind. They'll be in your guide. I don't think I've sent out my guide to my Virginia mentors. Have you ladies sent out the guide?
No, and we actually have a slide. We're going to talk a little bit about the guide. So
Okay.
You all will receive a document that goes into way more detail.
Right. Okay, good. So don't think you have to take a picture of that or remember it, all right? Because you'll get a guide. All right, the scholarship. So through STEM for Her and the generous donations of other organizations, Eagle Ray last year also gave us a cash donation specifically for the scholarship. We offer cash scholarships or experience scholarships. And cash scholarships are for graduating seniors and 11th graders if they want to use the cash for college preparatory type of work. And then the experience scholarships are for the underclassmen. And the experience scholarships, like in the video, is, oh my gosh, we had an amazing experience for a young lady who wants to be an architect. And so we arranged for her to spend a morning at the Virginia Tech School of Architecture in Alexandria. She went to an architecture lab and she interacted with students who were building their models. Then she went to lunch with the students. And then in the afternoon, she went to a local architecture firm and was able to interact with some of the architects there. And it was just an incredible experience for her, all donated by those organizations. And so what we do is we provide the network and the coordination to make these things happen. But we have a lot of organizations in the area that are willing to donate these types of experiences. And it's really great for girls to go out and do that kind of stuff. I remember doing like the job shadowing for a day. I shadowed a physical therapist when I was in high school. I'm sure all of you remember doing that stuff as well. It's really important. What the girls do is they write an essay or they create a video on, and we ask them what did they get out of the program, how would they pay it forward, meaning how would they influence other girls who maybe weren't in our programs to follow their dreams and stay in the STEM disciplines, and how would they change the world. And we judge these essays and we award anywhere from 10 to 12 of these scholarships, including the cash scholarships. And we do this at the end of our program year. Our program year for Mentor Protege runs through March, and then we have a couple of the SOSs in April, and then maybe bleeding into May as well. And so we collect these scholarships throughout the year and we award before school lets out. Next, please. Okay, so you met Carlos and Monica. They are our GIT chair and vice chair. We actually have a very, very large organization that helps run Girls in Technology. Ivania in the pink in the back is our social media chair, and so she's here taking pictures of everybody and videos and everything, and she'll be announcing this and then many of our other events on our different social media channels, which include Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter. And
It's already there.
oh my gosh, it's too much for me. I don't even have Facebook. So if you want to, the best way to know what's going on with us is to follow those channels. I guess Facebook is probably a really good one if you're on Facebook. We also announce on LinkedIn. We push out a lot of information at this more than we would push out through Women in Technology. Okay, so that's really the best way to stay engaged. Again, the three of us do mentor protege. In the future, we would love to have more locations. So like PG County would be great, Prince William County, like Springfield area. So so think about that if you want to get more involved with us. We just need people, volunteers who are willing to start these other locations. And then Cyber Patriot Girls, you heard a lot about that in the video. And then Angela Morrison is our WIT member, board member at large. She has Emerging Leaders, which is Girls in Technology and Young Professionals as well. And there's me. Okay, so I'm lonely. All right, I don't have a committee. I don't have a committee. Okay, and so for those of you in Maryland, I'm gonna beg to have some people help me with the committee. And so if you're interested, my email and yes.
And everybody's going to get a copy of this deck, so her email is right there. And the little green box says, would you like to join the Virginia committee?
Yeah, it should be up in the corner, so those in the back can see it. Actually, I do have one committee member. She actually has been a protege. She's an intern. She's been a protege for the past several years. Her name is Amelia Ware, and I just call her Amelia. And she's phenomenal. So she and I are planning the entire year right now. But we would love to have more people involved with LaShonda. All right, so I'm going to now pass it off to Carmen. Thank you, everybody.
Just a quick intro to the Maryland Committee. They're all sitting, all two of them are sitting over there. Yes. Please stand up. So we have Elizabeth Mariani and Anika Latman-Singh. Say that 3 times real fast. Yeah. And so they've been on the Maryland Committee for a number of years, and you know them, we love them, we can't do without them. So thank you. And
see, look at her committee. Look, my committee, Jenny's committee.
So because DC is so important for women in technology and girls in technology this year, our expansion to DC is very important. We started off with no schools to reach back to. Virginia and Maryland, they have contacts that they reach out to every year. The girls again, or mentors, please come back. But for DC, we started off from scratch. So we needed all the help that we could get. And if we could get Mary, Elizabeth, and Victoria, who are here today, to stand up. So, and Monica was part of the team for a while before Curtis took her. But these women really helped us find our facility, helped us find our students and our women. So we have, I think the last time I checked, I had 14 schools represented from DC, and we'll be accepting a few more. We have a little bit over 40 girls that we are accepting into the program. And then for mentors, in the beginning of September, I think I had 10 mentors. And then just through the, girl power, the power of your network, we're up to over 30 mentors. So thank you so much to my team for their hard work. So we discussed GIT's history. We started in 2001. The Women in Technology Education Foundation, which we now know is STEM for Her, was founded in 2004, and we've had a lot of successes along the way. We've been to the White House. We were awarded Outstanding Educator from Martin Luther King Jr. Cultural Foundation. We expanded into Loudoun, and now we're in DC. And then, like Whitney said, we are always evolving, we're always expanding. So who knows what 2017 and beyond holds for us. Okay, so the goal of Mentor Protege is really to connect high school girls who are interested in STEM careers. They may not know anything about STEM, but it's to connect them with women like yourselves who have the academic background, who have the work background, to help answer their questions. Like you saw in the video, what kind of job can engineering degree yet. They have no idea what that means. Another goal is to help them build a network, a support structure. We give away scholarships and experience awards that really helps to build their confidence. So I know I haven't really sent out a confirmation yet, but you guys will be receiving it from all three of us. So these are our session dates for Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Virginia meets on Thursdays.
Yeah, so we are the second Thursday of the month.
And Maryland is?
Generally the second Tuesday of the month, but not always because we had to change January.
Okay. And then I believe for DC, we're the fourth Tuesday of every month.
Oh, sorry, Maryland's third Tuesday.
And so we'll start at 6 o'clock. From 6 to 6:30, we do networking and refreshments. And actually, I was going to say I expect, but I would like you guys to be there by 6. We take our networking activity very seriously. We take our networking activity very seriously. It's our prime time to help girls develop their professional networking skills, and we have fun themes for the networking activity. And from 6:30 to 6:45, we have the session announcements, and then we have what's called the GIT Talk. It's really a speaker panel for about an hour with our featured speakers. And from 7:30 to 8:30, we'll be pairing the proteges with the mentors, and we usually wrap up by 8:30. Mentors and proteges are matched based on your applications, based on your profession, what your interests are. I know that, and we ask similar questions to girls, like what do you want to be when you grow up? We have a lot of, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a veterinarian, I want to, develop mobile apps. And so we try our best to match the girls, their interests, with our mentors' background. And I'm going to hand this over to Carmen.
So this is the mentor guide that we were talking about earlier. So you will receive a copy of it. Again, it talks a little bit more in depth about our program, our program structure. We also break down the guide into one section each for each session. So you will see the topic of the session. Generally, all three of our programs follow the same set of topics, maybe not in the same order, but these are the topics that we typically discuss. So first session 1 usually is protege orientation. So we introduce the proteges to the program. And we also, the theme of the session itself is STEM career exploration. So we bring in a speaker or a panel to talk in general about STEM careers. The next topic that you see there is a passion for STEM. You heard about the embrace, fear, and learn to fail topic a little bit. That is an important one that we discuss. Usually the third or fourth session. Leadership comes towards the end, and then the last session, how you will change the world, and that's when we actually get the girls to come up, as Whitney said, and talk about what they got out of the program, and we also invite them to share their ideas. Sometimes we ask them directly, tell us how you would change the world. We don't do that every year, and this year we may change it up, but the idea is now you're ready. You're launched into the new world of STEM. So we'll be sending this out to you probably in the next week or two. Actually, I think it's ready to go. So you should be receiving that through email from your program leads.
Just so you don't think you have a lot of homework to do, each of the chapters is probably 1 or 2 pages, okay? It's going to outline a little bit about what that session is, so you know ahead of time what the session topic is, and then it's also going to say which of the 7 core beliefs actually we want related to that session. And so it'll help you, like, as you break into your groups, think back to that, maybe take a cheat sheet, And then ask the girls questions around that just to kind of get them thinking about those 7 core beliefs.
And actually, that's a very good point. So part of that document, and again, it's not really meant for you to study it, it's just meant to be a helpful guide. So part of the document shares a little about active listening skills. So one of the things that we try to convey to our proteges on the orientation night is just the basic concept behind active listening. So we have a couple vehicles that we talk about in the mentor guide, and we suggest questions for the discussions in the mentor protege breakout sessions to help guide the discussions. We try to give you as much information regarding the conversations that you need to have, again, it's not meant to be adhered to religiously, but it's just really meant to guide you along and give you some ideas for the types of things that you might want to talk about. So who are our proteges? Well, they are girls in grades 9 to 12. We cut off in high school. We have other programs, as we mentioned, that we cater to a younger set of girls, our SOS program, for example, but mentor protege, really high school, 9th grade is the youngest. Generation Z, and as we mentioned, the mentor guide talks a little bit and takes some material from different sources about what Generation Z is all about. I'm sure a lot of you understand, if you have adolescents at home or high school kids at home, that they're different than us. I mean, they're interesting. I have a 12-year-old son at home, and it occurred to me the other day that he has never really lived in an age where there was no cell phone. Actually, when there was no smartphone even. So they are, the girls that come to our program are interested in academic careers. Of course, we invite any girl, and we want to help encourage them to pursue academic careers in STEM, but most of the girls that are self-select into our program are already have an idea that they want to study STEM. As a matter of fact, on the protege application, we ask them, what are your interests? And who do you want to be paired up with? So we understand a little bit about them before they go into the program, and that's how we actually do our matching. We try to match our girls in the discussion groups with mentors who have some backgrounds in those areas. It doesn't always work out. In Maryland, for example, I'm always short on STEM science mentors, and we have a lot of girls who want to study some sort of science field. So they don't always get to be matched up with professional women in those areas, but we really try our hardest. And so we start to understand that from the beginning of the application process of what the girls are interested in. They live in the DC area. As you have heard throughout the night, that they don't really understand what to do with the academics that they're currently involved in. They may not even know what kind of what they need to study in college. They especially have difficulty often connecting these academic subjects with careers in STEM. So that's why we're here.
So they will, freshmen will ask you, what do I do now as a freshman in high school to make sure I have a job when I graduate from college? You're gonna have stuff like that, and you're gonna want to say to her, can't you just enjoy yourself? Right? Can't you just enjoy the ride? Because it just gets so much harder. But yeah, they will become prepared. They're like, here's my list of questions, okay? And they're going to be questions like that. So be ready for those very prescriptive types of questions. These girls pretty much know what they want to do. I had a young lady one year where she went to Disney World and thought the rides were fascinating, and she wants to be an engineer that designs amusement park rides for Disney. And she was a sophomore in high school. And she knew it, and she was like, how do I get from A to B? Tell me how to get there. So it was, they're really, you're going to be really amazed at the brain power in the room.
And that's true, and a lot of our topics that we talk about try to address some of those questions. For example, there is one presentation that we have for make your STEM career exploration, which actually shows a chart of a career path that is not a solid straight line to where you need to go. And these girls, they listen. It's the first time that they've actually heard these things. And the questions that they ask are really interesting. We had a speaker, the deputy director of STEM for the White House. She was great. She was young. She was really engaging, and she opened up the floor to questions to her proteges. And some of the most interesting questions. But the one that stands out in my mind, one girl asked her, "So, what does your day look like? What do you actually do at your job?" And the woman went through a series of, "Well, I get up in the morning and I attend this meeting, and then I attend that meeting, and then I drive over to attend another meeting." And it was just, they've never heard this before. So it's really valuable to them. And they represent diverse backgrounds. In Maryland and Virginia, we do have, as Whitney says, the high achievers. Demographic is usually those girls that self-select into our program. They know what they want. They typically know that they want to pursue a STEM career. Virginia, DC, it's their first year there. We're not sure.
I can talk about that. So I've been seeing the DC applications come in, and DC girls are, ambitious as well, but it's a mixed bag. We have some who I've been told that they don't have computers at home. So they check their emails at school, and so I have to actually make personal phone calls to get in touch with them because they don't check email. Some of them, and we ask them, who's encouraging you to pursue STEM. Some of them get tons of support from their family and from their teachers. I've had tons of zealous parents, contact me like, "Hey, is my daughter in the program?" But we also have girls who don't get much support at all. So that's why you matter to these girls. We have girls who, get all the support that they need, but surprisingly, they may not have the confidence that you think that they do.
Yeah, very good point. Okay. Just more about Generation Z. I probably won't go through all of this, but just know that they know smartphones better than I do. And, it's a compelling thing for them. And they are not necessarily, to the girls, it's interesting. So they're users of technology, but they're not necessarily savvy in technology. And we want to change that, of course. And so some of the things that we try to do during our program year is connect technology, the things that you can learn about being a developer, or the things that you can create being a developer or being a technologist, and what that might lead to in terms of things that they've never thought of. You can make your own makeup, and you can apply these technical skills not just to sit in a room or in a cubicle coding all day, but to do exciting things. I'll let you read through this, but they are generally, again, this generation, they're confident, they want to make a difference. Why you matter? So this is a quote from Why So Few, and this is a publication by the American Association of University Women in 2010, but it's still really valid. And what this this study and the document that AAU produced tries to explain why the difference is, why the gender gap. But this quote says, exposing girls to successful female role models can help counter negative stereotypes in math and science, because girls see that people like them can be successful. Are we getting a theme here? So it's important for them to see you and hear from you. And there's more to quote. Or read.
Yeah, this is why we need mentors. So girls, high school girls, because of the lack of confidence, because they don't, all because they may be really good in geometry or algebra, they can't connect, what kind of career that will turn into. So they feel like because they don't know, they don't further pursue STEM because they don't know and they feel so insecure. So that's why we need mentors to help them, connect the dots and then give them that extra push and the pat on the back to like have them have confidence.
Yeah, if I can just add something. So when you talk to these girls, ask them what their classes are like. A lot of them are in AP classes. A lot of them are in a computer science class. And a lot of them will tell you, oh, I joined this class, there were 2 girls and then one dropped out, so now it's just me. And so this is why we really want them to connect with each other, and the networking is really important because we want these girls to know that they are not alone, that they're not weird, okay, they're not strange, and that there are other girls that are like them, that look like them, that are in the same situation they are. I don't know. I can tell you at Microsoft, there's 23% women. And I think many, many times I'm in a room with nobody who looks like me. And I have now gone through my bumps and bruises and it's okay. And I obviously am confident, I speak loudly and I hold my own. But it takes a really long time to get there. And these girls need to know that that is what's in their future. They just have to stick with it, even though they're the only one in the room. And by the way, they will probably be the only one in the room for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good point. So we do post-program surveys. So we try to understand, we do pre-program surveys and we do post-program surveys. And one of the purposes of the surveys is to try to measure the effectiveness of the program that they just exited. But we also hear about their concerns and what are their biggest challenges. And some of them bubble to the top year after year. Competing with men. So we don't want to emphasize so strongly because we don't really want to bias them in any way, but they feel it. And by the time the girls get to high school, especially when pursuing technology, the guys already have a head start. So that affects the confidence. For a high school girl who's considering a technology career or studying computers, the guys can do it so much better at this point, for the most part, so this intimidates them. So again, seeing other girls, one of the recurring things that I see from the post-program surveys, what did you get out of the program? What did you like? What didn't you like? So hands down, every year we hear that they really appreciated making new friends and talking to other girls with the same interests. Mm-hmm. So we have this exercise that I think we will probably not go through since we only have 15 minutes, but just what we're about to talk about is just some general mentoring guidelines based on sort of academics and principles for what makes a good mentor, and that's what we're about to step through. The idea of this exercise is just to have you think. So we'll have you think about it. And invite you to just think back on your mentoring experiences, if you have any, and try to think back, what are the characteristics, what are the things that made this mentor effective in your life, if you experienced having a mentor before, and what kind of traits a great mentor would have been for you. So just to reflect a little bit on that, and if we had more time, we would actually share because it's really interesting, the different experiences that folks have. So, getting into what makes a great mentor. Somebody who is absolutely credible. The fact that you're in this room means that you already have gotten past that. Mentors tell you things that you may not really want to hear. They interact with you in a way that makes you become better, make you feel secure enough to take the risks, give you guidance to rise above your inner doubts, supports your attempts to stretch goals for yourself. So these are all things that are going to come out in your conversations with the proteges. And again, these are general mentoring guidelines. This is not necessarily for specifically geared for high school girls. But it's absolutely relevant. It's a conversation that you're going to have with them when you sit down with your mentor groups and you have these discussions, they're going to ask you questions. You're going to sort of guide the discussions. A mentor supports, presents opportunities and highlights challenges, and above all, listens. So what we find is the most effective conversation that you can have with a group of proteges is to really understand what their concerns are and try to understand what they're asking, and not dominate the conversation, not lecture to them. You know, it's really tempting to try to talk a lot about yourself and not hear enough about what they may really want to understand out of you. But the point here is that really listening and inviting them to talk is a really effective way to make an impression. There you go. So, successful mentoring conversation, listening, asking thoughtful questions, and so the mentor guide that we just described will give you some hints about things that you can ask related to the topic of the evening. We're going to have different speakers, some sessions, and it depends on the program location because we all have different sets of speakers and different formats. Or different people coming in that are going to talk, but sometimes we'll have a speaker panel where we may have 2 or 3 or 4 women and a moderator, asking questions related to the particular topic for the night. We may have a speaker. So what we're going to ask the girls to do is listen and come with questions to the discussion groups. And we're going to have what we want the mentors to do is sort of guide the discussions along related to those themes, and maybe ask questions related to those themes that a protege can connect, that will help a protege connect how it may apply in their particular situation, or their concerns, or their interests or curiosities to what we're talking about. So, building trust, being empathetic, empathic, offering encouragement, which by default, we're going to start right off the bat. Just the fact that they're in this program, we'll start with encouraging them to pursue their goals, and sharing your knowledge and experience to educate and inspire new possibilities. So, again, your conversation with them, refer to the mentor guide, ask about the expectations for the session, and these are just general guidelines. This is not this is not a prescription for your conversation, but just to give you some thoughts about how you might want the conversation to go. Support her in thinking through solutions. Expand the protege's awareness and perspective by sharing relevant experiences. So these are not war stories, but these are, you have a lot to tell. You've got good stories. Every one of you has good stories because you all have different experiences and you all have a lot more experience in life than a 16-year-old high school girl. So there's a lot that you can share.
Can I just add to that, please? So you'll find that you'll be more of a facilitator as opposed to driving the actual group discussion itself. Generally, these girls, you're going to have, introverts and extroverts, and the extroverts are they're going to be like asking you the question before you even sit down. So keep them on track, okay, and make sure that you include all of the girls in there. And I'm even thinking of having like tennis balls in the rooms for Virginia, and that way you can throw a ball at a girl if you want her to speak up. You don't have to, Have you ever done that in those, like team building where it's like, okay, I'm speaking, I'm going to throw the ball to the next person, just to try to get the more introverted girls speaking. But they'll drive a lot of the conversation. Just be there to facilitate and keep it on track.
Yeah, excellent point. And the last bullet here is ask open-ended questions rather than yes or no to encourage a dialogue. And as Whitney says, make sure you get to the girls that are not speaking. Yeah, that's important. And some of them are painfully shy, but they wind up, most of the introverts actually wind up enjoying the interaction. It's just really getting them started.
Yeah, so I want you guys to be aware of, who, what protege is talking more than others. And although we want everyone to speak, we really want the shy ones to learn to gain the confidence. And so what I did the past few years was to pick on people who did not have their hands raised. They didn't enjoy that very much at first, but you see them evolve over the 5 sessions. They actually enjoy being picked on. And in one application last year, a girl had mentioned specifically, I don't usually raise my hand, but if you do call on me, I will speak. And so, I encourage you to do the same.
Right, and so what Jenny's referring to, so you heard about the program structure. So sometimes we make the large group session interactive. It depends on the speaker panel and what the topic is and what the discussion is. But we try to open with some sort of formal presentation, but also we try to get the girls involved early on, even before you get to the discussion groups.
Okay, next. I think this is pretty much the same.
Yeah. So here's just, you can read through this yourself, just some suggestions for the types of questions that you might ask. Again, this is sort of it's not a repeat of what's in the mentor guide, but it's sort of a supplement to thoughts with respect to the conversation that you might have. Just common sense, mentoring guidelines, especially for the introverts. You really don't want to shut down the protege by leading with, well, what I always do, and this is the way you should do it, and you really need to do this. You might want to soften the message and make sure that that you're not dominating and you're really pulling out of them how they might address the situation. Go back to the last one. Somebody else. Oh, just other basic sort of mentoring guidelines. You don't want to be judgmental. You don't want to evaluate them. And you don't want to solve their problems. So this is important. You're not really there to tell them a solution for whatever problem they may present. You're not there to rescue them, but you are there to help lead them to whatever the answer may be.
Can I add something? I think everybody here signed the code of conduct. If you get a sense that if a girl is clearly asking you for help, like you're starting to read between the lines that maybe there's something going on, feel free to come to one of us, and if you feel any concern at all, raise it to us. Don't feel like you need to solve the girl's problem in the group, but I just want to let you know that's part of our role, is to actually escalate those types of concerns, okay? If you have any of those.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so just, yes, protege is creative, capable of finding their own answers, you support and challenge, you share relevant experience, not you have all the answers, you provide the agenda. Are you noting a theme here? So we don't want to dominate with our own agenda, right? And you can't fix the situation. Okay, your attendance is important. So in Maryland and the other locations, I think follow this. Every year we change it up, but in Maryland, what we found is a formula where we pair. We put together groups, discussion groups. So we match proteges and mentors, as I said earlier, based on experience and based on what we think the protege is looking for. And so we try to keep those same groups for the first couple sessions, because we've heard from our proteges that they appreciate having continuity. They like meeting with the same mentors. At the same time, we also hear from our proteges that they love to talk to different mentors. So the formula that we have in Maryland, that we will probably do again this year, is have group matching as best as we can for the first 2 sessions. So you should have the same proteges and hopefully the same mentors in those groups. And then we rotate the groups in January for the last 3 sessions. So this gives the proteges an opportunity to meet with the same girls, meet with the same mentors, and then have a different combination of girls and mentors for the last 3 sessions. So it's important that you show up for continuity, if you can. It's important that you come to each session centered, energized. Our first half an hour is meant to get you settled in. So if you show up at 6 o'clock, we'll have refreshments. That's our networking hour. So if you're there, and we hope you are, we typically will have some sort of structured networking activity. And Jenny talked about it. And we try to mix it up. And this year, we're coming up with all kinds of creative ideas. But what we want to do during this first half an hour is let people settle in, let people sort of leave work behind, let people sort of start to engage in the session. And at the same time, it's an important time for the proteges to start to learn how to meet other girls, meet other women. We actually teach them how to introduce themselves, look somebody in the eye, shake their hand. Unbelievably, most of them come into our program not knowing how to do any of this. So it's important for them to sort of come in and start to get to know the group there. So we like you to be there at 6 o'clock and engage with the proteges. And most of all, just sort of leave work behind, or leave your day behind, and just come in and be present. And make a personal connection. You will hopefully enjoy this experience yourself. You'll get to meet other professional women, and I think you will find the relationships that we have in the room with the proteges very valuable. And I guess it's obvious, listening to both content and feeling.
All right.
That's it.
Any questions?
Questions?
Well, I can start. Background check. I don't.
Oh yes. Wait.
I don't know anything about how to do that.
So we have our mentor liaison to walk you through.
So there was an email that was probably sent to you from, do you know the email account that comes from both?
Well, it depends. Which program are you in?
I'm in a DC, but I just signed up last week, so
Okay.
I'm wondering if I was too late
Okay.
for that.
So when you signed up, did you receive another email also? Okay, it's because we've been wrapping up the numbers also for DC program. So you probably will be receiving that email very soon.
Okay.
Just show of hands, who's done the background check? And maybe I should ask who hasn't done it. From DC. From DC. Okay, so just a couple. Talk to me after the program and after this is done, and then I'll acquaint you, because you should have received an email. If not, I'll let you know, and I'll work it out. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any advice from prior year's mentors? I know we have
Ashanga.
some, yeah, we have some veterans. Okay. I'm gonna get you to do more. Okay. LaShonda, this is her, what year?
Wow.
So welcome to all the new mentors. Super excited to have new compadres. Really just the biggest thing as a mentor after several years, started in the 2012, 2013 year. The biggest thing is the girls are amazing. They're absolutely awesome. Like you walk into the room and you start talking to them, and even though they're super shy from the start, it's really temporary. Once they get to know you, they're like chatty Cathy's all over the place and you can't corral them. But their dreams and their aspirations are so beyond what any of us would have thought at that age. Like they come in, they know. And like you said, they're very prescriptive. They're like, I want to be this, and this is where I am, and this is where I want to go, and this is what I know that I need to do. What else am I supposed to do? And it's just like, oh my God, just boom. It's like you're in 9th grade. But yeah, I mean, just come in with open ears and, really just try to help guide them. And the biggest thing is a lot of them do not have the support system at home, or they have people in their family that are not STEM, so they don't get it. So you may be the person that gets it and helps them understand what they're feeling or thinking. So, you know, have fun, engage, and plan to be wild. They're really good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I have one more reminder that I was just reminded of myself. So, sometimes proteges want to connect with you outside of the program. We are not allowed to do that. So you're not allowed to exchange contact information with the proteges. If a protege really wants to connect with you, have them come talk to us. Okay, I think that's it. One more slide and we're closing.
All
Any
right.
other part? That's it? Okay.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
Special
Ours-
thank you.
yes.
Sorry. So, we cannot close without talking to you about all of the organizations that make our program possible. So, Women in Technology, we are a subcommittee of Women in Technology. Thanks for her. You heard about, there used to be Women in Technology Education Foundation. This is where we get our funding. It's a not-for-profit, and we rely on them for all of our funding. Microsoft is our Northern Virginia host, so for you Virginia mentors, you are going to be meeting with Whitney in the facility at Microsoft in
Reston.
And it's an amazing facility over there.
Yeah, it's not here.
Not here.
It's in Reston.
Not here. In Reston, Virginia.
Yeah.
Johns Hopkins University, that's where the Maryland program is in Rockville, Shady Grove, and they have been our host for 3 years. We love them. It's a great facility. The newest VC program is the Coachland Science Museum, the one that Jenny hooked up. And just briefly talk about that.
We were debating which facility to go with, and we got a lot of generous offers. But ultimately, we had to choose the Marion Coachland Science Museum, number 1. It's named after a female scientist. And the DC mentors will discover soon enough we get the entire museum to ourselves. And so everything is like hands-on, interactive screens and video games. So I just could not pass up that opportunity.
Oh, it's going to be great. And plus it's right around the corner from my office. So you'll see me there too. And last but not least, we depend on the generosity of our corporate sponsors. So if you work at a company that might be interested in getting involved, please refer them to us. Companies love to get involved. It's really giving back to the community, so do let us know. We have one more slide for closing.
It's the social media.
Oh, social media.
Okay. So I actually have another ask from you guys. So for DC, what I want to do is to find job shadow. I know we talked about scholarship and experiences, but I think it's such an easy ask to ask, do you have job shadowing opportunities, you or at work or someone else you know, to get the girls to shadow you for a day, half day, maybe even an hour. And so we want to give the DC girls and other Maryland and Virginia girls as well something to put on their college applications and something to put on their resumes.
Social media.
Okay, so I love social media, and Ivania is our social media manager. But here are the sites to our social media, our blog, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. You can find a lot of our photos on there, but also updates to the latest and greatest GIT events, and also women in technology events that we'll be inviting you all to. Also, if you really enjoyed the Girls in Technology television show, it will air throughout the week on DC TV, and you can watch it live stream. And it's also on our YouTube, and that is the direct URL.
And we'll send out the slides. Okay.
Yep. And thank you so much for your time, your dedication, your passion. Just want to remind you to get your background checks done as soon as you can before you start the program. And then follow us on social media, interact with us, and get to know your fellow mentors and your community members. And we'll see you on October 13th, 18th, and the 25th. Thank you so much.